So that was 1978. It was the year that Proposition 13 passed, the property tax initiative. There were no jobs in California because of that. So I took this job in Las Vegas, Nevada. And let me tell you, environmental planning in Las Vegas, Nevada, if that isn't a disconnect, I don't know what is. So anyway, I went out there, and I was an environmental planner doing air quality and water quality work, and very strange 10 months. But 6 months into that job, very late at night, I woke up. And this one was bigger than usual because I woke up, and for the life of me, I do not remember any premeditation leading up to this, don't know where it came from. I was commuting by bicycle to the Valley Bank building, the only skyscraper in Las Vegas. And let me tell you, commuting by bicycle in Las Vegas is an interesting exercise, especially then. But I woke up and decided that I wanted to take people on bike trips. So I got out of bed, and I wrote about 8 pages of notes on what it would take to take people on bike trips. And I didn't know that there was anything like that at the time. It turned out that there was. But so as a breakfast, from incubation to business plan, pretty much maybe 6 hours, I was fully engaged, and that's what I was going to do. Nobody could have ever changed my mind on what a bad idea it was. It was a bad idea, by the way. I'll tell you why, in a more traditional sense. I didn't know anything about business, hadn't really done that much traveling, hadn't done much bicycling. I didn't know that there were venture capitalists, and Greg, if there were, they wouldn't have looked at me. I didn't have much money to start this business, but that's what I wanted to do. So left Las Vegas after 10 months there, and said my goodbyes and went on a 5,000-mile bike trip around the West. And I was partly doing that to get Las Vegas out of my system, but also looking for a place to start the company. Initially, I thought I might do it in a small geographic region like Northern California or Montana or something, but after going all around the West and going through all these incredible places, I thought, well, I think I'd love to go back and take people through these areas I'd just ridden through. So that's sort of how we got started, we, the royal we, in terms of a fairly decentralized network of trips. So I started Backroads in 1979, and I would say that I worked 365 days a year for the first 5 years, I'm sure. The very first year, I worked all day, and then I'd go to Fondue Fred, a restaurant on Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley, and I would chip the cheese out of fondue pots to make ends meet. Ate the leftover trip food. I think 7 years into it, I did a little math on how much money I'd made, and I think I averaged about 35 cents an hour for 7 years. Did absolutely everything. Never was it about the money when I started Backroads. Still isn't. It was always about my absolute passion for doing something I love doing, and I feel so lucky to have stumbled upon something that has been every day I go to work. There's nothing I'd rather do. I'm kind of a closet worker. I have to sneak off now because I have a family and things, and my wife thinks that I shouldn't work 7 days a week, so I don't. But every day I love what I do, and I loved it then. I loved it now. So fast forward 29 years, we're coming up on our 30-year anniversary, Backroads, that is, and 17 years of marriage. I'm happily married with 3 wonderful kids. And we're in Backroads is in 44 countries. We do about 16,000 guests a year, 60 million in sales. Today, somewhere in the world, we have about 60 or 70 trips running, I'd imagine, and about 400 plus employees. As far as my, thanks. As far as my community, I'd say that my community is my family, my nuclear family, a lot of the wonderful people that I live around in the community, my kids' school, but also a much greater and widespread community that's from almost 30 years of being in this wonderful business where I've had the opportunity to meet people in all walks of life. So you've got somebody like Nam Gay, our Bhutanese guide, just the most gentle spirit who has had such a wonderful impact on me. Piak, who is in charge of our crew of Thai drivers in Thailand, or Andre, the owner of the Post Hotel, who goes on a lot of our trips. Post Hotel is this great place up in Canada. Or Bruno, our French leader, and just hundreds of people like that who I've been so lucky to just interact with, cross paths with, whether they've been colleagues that I've worked with, or folks that have that we've done business with or guests. Just really a robust network there. As far as me possibly being a role model, you know, it's just not something I could even begin to answer. I look at it a little differently. I think you'd have to ask people that I've been around. I don't think I set out to be a role model. What I really set out to is to follow my heart and to be true to myself, to live my passion every day, to do what I love and love what I do. And in the context of that exercise, if I'm a role model, I'm glad and hope I am. Always trying to improve myself, my company, my community. And I'd just like to finish by commending you for looking at those sorts of things, you know, how you impact the world, your community, yourselves as role models and mentors. Really a wonderful thing to be doing it, especially at the age that you're at. So I want to really commend you for all of that. Thanks.